I'm Jesse Starnes. I'm with Tip Top Poultry from Marietta, Georgia. We have 2 locations, one in Rockmart, Georgia, one in Marietta. We have 120 Qualtrax users. Qualtrax has simplified for Tip Top our workflows that we use on a daily basis in our quality department. A lot of times the quality department needs information, and that information has to be handed out in a timely manner. The Workflows has enabled us to take the paperwork from the desk and put it into the system so that we can ensure that the information is done in a timely manner. Also, our HR department has decided to utilize Qualtrax Workflows. So it's made a huge difference for us to be able to get our paperwork done in a timely fashion compared to the old manual way. Qualtrax was accepted and adopted pretty easily. After a couple of days of training and oversight to show the system, our managers accepted that this was an easy way for us to get the document control under control, as well as to be able to handle one of our huge problems, which was customer complaints. Those complaints came in. It took sometimes a month to get a response to the customer. We're now on a 10-day turnaround, and that's using Qualtrax. We can pull those complaints in, satisfy what the problem was, how we repaired the problem or fixed what the issue was, and then send that document out to the customer, and they can then see that their issue has been handled. Qualtrax has paid for itself in that each employee that was manually entering in information, they now have more time to do other objectives, I guess would be a better term to use. They don't have to spend the time writing or typing. They can look at documents, they can look at workflows, find out the information they need, process it, and it moves on to the next person. We were spending a ton of money just in people like myself, just making sure that all the information was in a central location. Everyone had access to that. Now it's all in one little group, and I admin that in Qualtrax. Some of the savings that we've experienced by using Qualtrax Workflows would best be represented by the customer complaints. When you have a customer, a multi-million-dollar customer that orders, in our industry, sometimes 1 million pounds of product in just a few months' time, satisfying that customer is essential. So if we can, in a timely manner, let them know that the issue that they're seeing is just a temporary issue, this is how we fixed it, and to get that information back to them, our 10-day turnaround saves us a ton of money. In the past, we sometimes couldn't get an answer. Now with Qualtrax Workflows on customer complaints, we get those answers in 10 days. One of the workflows that I'm most proud of is not that big, but it is so simple, it's effective, and it is our maintenance work orders. We have 2 maintenance departments, one in each location. They have about 35 employees in those departments. We had such a huge problem in making sure the right person was informed that there was a need or there was a problem in an area. And just by simply creating a workflow and having a list of those employees, anyone within our location can create a workflow, say what problem they're having, choose the person that needs to address it, and within a day they are notified as to the problem has been acknowledged, the prospective date as to when it will be repaired, and then they get a completed workflow or notification that that job has been done. The implementation and training team for Qualtrax was great to work with. The thing I noticed first is there's not a, well, tell me all the things that you're doing. The first thing I got was, let's set up a go-to session. They got on the system, they looked at what was there, then started asking me questions. Coming from an IT standpoint, that's huge, because it's almost belittling for someone to ask you, if you're having a problem with your PC, if you're an IT guy, you don't want someone asking you, have you turned it off and rebooted? You know you've done that first off. So the Qualtrax staff was just awesome in kind of looking at the computer background that I had and starting from there rather than going back to basics. Save time. You know, most of the time they could handle the migration for us when we went from 3.8 to 4.0. It only took about an hour, so it went real smooth for us. They gave me all the information that I needed to be prepared before the migration as to the server, the software, the memory that I needed just to be prepared. Once we did that, it was smooth. The technical support team has assisted me on a regular basis. In fact, I know all of them first name basis. It's easy to get a hold of somebody. And usually they won't just tell you what's wrong, they want to take a look at other things, and that's important to me. They can usually give me an instance of what they see the problem as being, but they like to log on and take a look at some other things that could be going on, just to, I call it a preventive maintenance program that they must have somewhere hidden in their belt of tools that they use. But when I call them and they take a look at it, they'll take a look at all my services, they'll take a look at all the things that are running, making sure that everything's going. And for me, that means a lot. I'd recommend Qualtrax because it's so much easier than doing it manually. Once you understand the concept of creating custom fields, handling your documents, the naming scheme, Qualtrax is just a no-brainer to use on a daily basis. If you're like me, I don't write very well, so I type much better. I would rather put it in the system and not have to deal with the manual paperwork. If you look at the way things are today, going green, Qualtrax is a better way of doing that. I don't have to print out anything, it's there for them to see.